Today, Apple unveiled its leaner and meaner technology at an event in the Big Apple, New York City. There's a thinner iPad and lighter MacBook Air, both with Apple says have improved security. You may recall the company unveiled its new iPhone last month. But not everybody is lining up to buy the new products tech giants have to offer, including smartphones. Molly Barrows, contributor for America's Lawyer, joins us now to explain. Hey, Molly, are some people getting sort of fed up with all the new cell phones out there, or are they still just as popular as ever?
You know, they're pretty popular, Bart. I don't think the demand for smartphones is going to go away necessarily, but it's the demand for the newer ones. You know, there was a time when every time a new smartphone came on the market, people were lining up. They were flying off the shelves. Well, that's not the case anymore. According to a new report from the Wall Street Journal, people are holding on to their older cell phones a lot longer, which, of course, has caused a little consternation among carriers. But the main reason, and there are several, seems to be tied to expense. Some of these phones are pretty pricey, costing as much as $1,000. And also, you know, these contracts that they used to have, it used to be that the price of your phone was tied to your monthly service bill. Now it's separate. So once the phone's paid off, people like to see that lower monthly service bill, and they're not in any hurry to bump up their monthly costs again. And so you're also seeing a similar trend in the UK. Replacement phone sales have been down for the past 5 years. And then, of course, you had just last week, which you reported on Boom Bust, the Italian competition authority fined both Samsung and Apple more than $5.5 million, or the equivalent thereof, because they were basically pushing updates, software updates for their phones on their customers. And once they did it, their phones were moving slower. And as a result, they were getting new phones. And it turns out through an investigation that that was the intention of these new updates, that they were designed to slow these phones down, to be like, hey, go get a new phone. Sorry, your old one's not working anymore. So those sorts of things, you know, aren't going to help annual sluggish sales, but it's still continuing to be pretty popular. People aren't giving them up. They're just not buying the new ones as quickly, Bart.
Molly, my brother-in-law has a 2003 phone. I don't know if it's a Nokia or something, and he only keeps like 5 or 6 addresses in it, or not addresses, phone numbers in it. And when it gets slow,
yes,
he never accepts an update on the phone, never ever. So he wouldn't get one of those makes it slower things. But when the phone does slow down, he just hits a factory reset. And he loves this phone. And, you know, the worst case is he's got to put 5, 6 numbers in all the time. So I know there are some people that are getting fed up with this. I mean, given everything that you've said, Molly, what does this mean for the future of smartphones?
Well, it's actually pretty interesting. You know, people are buying them. Like we said, they're just not as desperate to upgrade because a lot of the new features that are coming out, even though you have Apple, which came out with their new iPhone last week, and they're saying, hey, it's got all these special features. People are like, whatever, sort of like your relative who's saying, you know, I have my basic uses for my phone. I don't need all these fancy upgrades. You're not going to entice me to get a higher bill and trade in my other phone for a new one that's more expensive. But, you know, it's interesting. There's just this year, the Mobile World Congress met, and they're talking about the future of smartphones, and they're basically saying demand is going to continue to be huge, and a big part of it is because they're making these additional technology features which are slowly evolving. Everything from, get this, we've heard a little bit about facial recognition. They're going to try to make that standard, I believe, but they want flexible smartphones, maybe even possibly foldable so that they don't break as easily, new ways to supply power so you're not stuck constantly hunting for a place to charge it, and some more virtual features, a variety of those, which includes like virtual images. Instead of just taking a picture, you'll be able to look at what, almost like you're in a store looking at what's on a bookshelf or a grocery store shelf. So with all that in mind, they expect there's going to be a consistent demand. And by 2021, the International Data Corporation says worldwide smartphone shipments are going to be increasing by 1.7 billion phones. So everybody wants one.
God, everybody wants one, Molly, but I just keep thinking, I mean, to me, all of the apps that they load on there and apps that you can't get rid of and all of the updates.
You're right.
And, you know, it was one thing back in the day where you did just want, you know, some phone numbers, et cetera, and maybe a couple of addresses. To now, there's so much there that it's just overwhelming. And to me, it just seems like maybe there's going to be a lot of folks, and maybe I'm just too old school, that say enough is enough and let's just stick with something. Boy, Molly, so helpful for you to go through this. Thank you so much. Molly Barrows, contributor to America's Lawyer. Thanks, Molly.
All right, thanks, Bart.